Dear seeker, in today's world, we are encouraged to share everything. Our thoughts, our plans, our struggles, even the most private moments of our lives are often displayed openly. Social media, conversations with acquaintances, and the constant urge to express ourselves can make it feel as if silence is unusual, even unnecessary. But the ancient wisdom of Buddhism invites us to consider a different perspective, the quiet power of mindful speech and intentional silence. The Buddha taught that words carry great weight. In the teachings preserved in the Dhammapada, we are reminded that speech should be truthful, beneficial, and spoken at the right time. Not every truth needs to be shared with everyone, and not every thought deserves to be spoken aloud. Wisdom lies not only in knowing what to say, but also in understanding when silence protects our peace and preserves our energy. When we reveal too much about our lives, we sometimes unknowingly expose ourselves to unnecessary judgment, misunderstanding, or negativity. People may doubt our intentions, criticize our choices, or influence our path in ways that disturb our inner balance. The Buddha often emphasized mindfulness in every aspect of life, including how we communicate. Speaking mindfully means recognizing that our words shape both our relationships and our inner state. Modern teachers of Buddhist philosophy, such as those who reflect on compassion and awareness in works like The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, remind us that peace is cultivated through awareness and discernment. Protecting your inner world is not secrecy or fear, it is wisdom. Just as a gardener protects a young plant from harsh winds until it grows strong, we too must protect certain aspects of our lives until they are ready to flourish. In this video, we will gently explore 8 things you should be mindful about sharing with others. These teachings are not about isolation, but about cultivating awareness, balance, and emotional clarity. By understanding what to keep within the quiet space of your heart, you create room for greater peace, strength, and wisdom on your path. Dear seeker, there are moments in life when a new vision quietly appears in the heart. Perhaps it is a dream of changing your career, beginning a meaningful project, pursuing spiritual growth, or transforming your way of living. In these moments, the excitement within us naturally creates the desire to share our plans with others. However, Buddhist wisdom gently encourages us to move with patience and quiet determination. When a goal is still in its early stages, it is fragile, much like a young seed planted in the soil. If exposed too soon to doubt, criticism, or unnecessary opinions, that seed may struggle to grow. Many people around us may not understand our intentions. Some may question our abilities, while others might unintentionally discourage us because they see the world through the lens of their own fears and limitations. The Buddha often emphasized the value of right effort, a teaching preserved in texts such as the Majjhima Nikaya. Right effort teaches us to cultivate our intentions carefully and protect the mental energy required to bring them into reality. When we announce our goals too widely, something subtle can happen within the mind. We may feel temporary satisfaction simply from talking about our plans, which can reduce the inner drive needed to actually pursue them. In other cases, outside opinions may cloud our clarity and cause us to doubt a path that once felt meaningful. This is why wise practitioners often allow their aspirations to develop quietly. Share your dreams with those who genuinely support your growth, people who offer encouragement, wisdom, and understanding. But avoid revealing every detail of your journey to those who may not hold the same vision. Let your actions become the message. As the Buddha's teachings remind us in the Dhammapada, a wise person is known not by promises but by deeds. So nurture your goals with patience, protect them with silence, and allow your results to speak when the time is right. Dear seeker, kindness is one of the most beautiful qualities a human being can cultivate. A simple act of generosity, a helping hand offered at the right moment, or a compassionate word spoken to someone in pain can transform a person's day, and sometimes even their life. Buddhist teachings place great importance on generosity, known as na, which is considered one of the foundational virtues on the path to awakening. The Buddha taught that generosity purifies the mind and loosens the grip of selfishness. Yet there is a subtle lesson within this practice that many people overlook. True kindness does not seek recognition. When we perform a good deed and immediately tell others about it, the focus slowly shifts. Instead of the act being about compassion, it begins to revolve around our image, our reputation, and our desire to be seen as a good person. The Buddha repeatedly warned about the quiet ways the ego can attach itself even to virtuous actions. In teachings preserved in the Dhammapada, humility and sincerity are praised as signs of true wisdom. A compassionate person does good not for praise or admiration, but simply because relieving suffering is the natural response of a mindful heart. Modern Buddhist teachers echo this wisdom. In reflections on compassion found in the heart of the Buddha's teaching, acts of kindness are described as expressions of deep understanding, moments when we recognize that the well-being of others is connected to our own. When kindness is done quietly, it strengthens humility and nurtures genuine compassion. There is a special peace that arises when a good deed remains unseen by the world but deeply felt by the heart. This does not mean hiding kindness out of fear, but practicing generosity without attachment to praise. So when you help someone, offer your compassion freely. Allow the act itself to be enough. Let the goodness remain simple and sincere. For in the quiet space where kindness asks for nothing in return, the heart grows lighter and true compassion begins to flourish. Dear seeker, every human life contains moments of difficulty. There are times when we feel overwhelmed by uncertainty, burdened by emotional pain, or discouraged by failure. These experiences are part of the shared human journey, and acknowledging them is an important step toward healing. However, Buddhist wisdom teaches that while it is healthy to seek support, not every person is the right listener for our deepest struggles. When we speak about our pain openly to everyone, we may unintentionally expose ourselves to misunderstanding or judgment. Some people may listen with compassion, but others may respond with criticism, gossip, or advice that does not truly address our situation. Instead of easing our suffering, such reactions can deepen the emotional weight we already carry. The Buddha taught extensively about dukkha, the reality of suffering in life, and how wisdom and mindful awareness help us navigate it. In the teachings preserved within the Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha encourages individuals to approach suffering with reflection, understanding, and the support of wise companions who genuinely wish for their well-being. Modern Buddhist teachers also emphasize the importance of choosing the right environment for sharing our struggles. In the reflections on compassion and mental clarity found in The Art of Happiness, it is explained that meaningful healing often comes through supportive relationships grounded in empathy and wisdom. This means it is wise to be selective about who we open our hearts to. A trusted friend, a compassionate mentor, a spiritual teacher, or someone who listens without judgment can offer the kind of understanding that nurtures healing. Protecting your vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it is a form of emotional wisdom. When you choose carefully who hears your struggles, you create a safe space where genuine support can arise. In that space, suffering becomes easier to understand, and the path toward inner peace becomes clearer. Sometimes the most compassionate thing we can do for ourselves is to guard our heart until we find someone capable of holding it with care. Dear seeker, the spiritual path is often quiet and subtle. Unlike material achievements that can easily be measured and displayed, spiritual growth unfolds within the inner landscape of the mind and heart. Over time, you may notice that your reactions become calmer, your thoughts more mindful, and your compassion toward others more natural. These changes are meaningful signs of progress. Yet the Buddha gently warned that even spiritual growth can become a source of attachment if we are not careful. When we begin to speak frequently about our meditation practices, our mindfulness, or the insights we have gained, the mind can slowly shift toward comparison. We may start to feel that we are more disciplined, more aware, or further along the path than others. This is what many Buddhist teachers describe as spiritual ego, a subtle form of pride that disguises itself as progress. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha reminds practitioners that wisdom is reflected through humility and self-awareness. A person who truly understands the path does not feel the need to declare their spiritual advancement, because genuine transformation naturally expresses itself through actions, not announcements. Modern Buddhist teachings also echo this principle. In the heart of the Buddha's teaching, spiritual development is described as a quiet process in which mindfulness gradually shapes our daily life. When mindfulness deepens, people begin to notice the peace and kindness in our behavior without us needing to explain it. Think of spiritual growth like the fragrance of a flower. The flower does not announce its scent. It simply blooms, and the fragrance spreads naturally. In the same way, your calm presence, your patience in difficult moments, and your compassion toward others will reveal the depth of your practice far more clearly than words ever could. So continue your journey with sincerity and humility. Allow your transformation to unfold quietly, and let your actions become the silent expression of your spiritual path. Dear seeker, family relationships are among the most meaningful and complex connections in our lives. Within families we experience love, support, and belonging, but we may also encounter disagreements, misunderstandings, and emotional tension. These moments are natural because every individual carries different experiences, expectations, and perspectives. However, Buddhist wisdom encourages us to handle family conflicts with care, patience, and discretion. When personal family matters are shared widely with outsiders, the situation can easily become more complicated. People who are not directly involved often do not see the full picture. They may interpret events based only on one side of the story, and their opinions may unintentionally deepen the conflict rather than resolve it. The Buddha emphasized the importance of right speech, one aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right speech teaches us to speak in ways that are truthful, helpful, and capable of promoting harmony rather than division. This guidance appears throughout Buddhist teachings, including reflections found in the Dhammapada, where mindful communication is presented as a path toward peaceful relationships. When we speak carelessly about family disputes, especially to people who may gossip or judge, we risk turning temporary disagreements into lasting wounds. Words can travel far beyond our intention, and once spoken, they are difficult to take back. Instead, Buddhist philosophy encourages us to approach family conflicts with understanding and compassion. In teachings about mindful communication discussed in the heart of the Buddha's teaching, resolving conflict begins with listening deeply and recognizing the suffering that may exist on both sides. This does not mean ignoring problems or suppressing your feelings. Rather, it means addressing issues with the right people, those who are directly involved or those who can offer wise and neutral guidance. When discretion is practiced, conversations become calmer, solutions become clearer, and relationships have a greater chance to heal. Sometimes protecting peace within the family begins simply by choosing careful words and thoughtful silence. Dear seeker, life often presents us with moments of transition, times when we feel called to make an important change. It may be a new career path, a decision to move to a different place, a shift in relationships, or a deeper commitment to personal growth. During these moments, the mind seeks clarity. We reflect, we weigh possibilities, and we try to understand which direction aligns with our values and our inner truth. Yet many people make the mistake of sharing these early decisions with too many others. While advice can sometimes be helpful, too many opinions can easily cloud the mind. Each person views the world through the lens of their own experiences, fears, and expectations. What feels like guidance to them may create confusion within you. Buddhist teachings often emphasize the importance of mindful reflection before action. In many discourses preserved in the Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha encourages practitioners to examine their intentions carefully and act only after thoughtful awareness. When a decision is still forming within the heart, it needs space and quietness to mature. If every step is discussed publicly, the mind may become overwhelmed by conflicting advice. Doubt can grow, and the inner voice that once felt clear may become difficult to hear. This is why wise individuals often move calmly and quietly when preparing for significant changes. Take time to reflect. Sit with your thoughts. Observe your intentions with mindfulness. Modern reflections on Buddhist philosophy, such as those found in The Art of Happiness, remind us that inner peace arises when our actions come from thoughtful understanding rather than external pressure. Once your path becomes clear, act with confidence and calmness. You do not need to announce every step of your journey. Sometimes the most powerful transformations occur in silence, when decisions are guided not by noise from the outside world, but by wisdom cultivated within. Dear Seeker, as we come to the end of this reflection, take a quiet moment to consider how powerful mindful silence can be in our lives. In a world that constantly encourages us to share every detail of our thoughts, plans, and experiences, choosing what not to say can become a profound form of wisdom. The teachings of the Buddha remind us that speech carries great influence. Words have the ability to create harmony or conflict, clarity or confusion, peace or disturbance. Because of this, Buddhist philosophy encourages us to approach communication with awareness and intention. In the Dhammapada, wise speech is described as speech that is truthful, beneficial, and spoken at the proper time. Sometimes the most skillful response is not to speak more, but to pause and allow silence to protect the calmness of the mind. Throughout this video, we explored several areas of life where discretion can nurture inner peace: our goals, our kindness, our struggles, our spiritual progress, family matters, and the important decisions we prepare to make. Protecting these aspects of life does not mean isolating ourselves from others. Rather, it means practicing discernment and understanding that not every part of our journey needs to be exposed to the world. Modern Buddhist teachers also emphasize this balance between openness and awareness. In reflections on mindfulness found in the heart of the Buddha's teaching, wisdom grows when we observe our thoughts and words carefully, recognizing that peace begins within the mind. So as you continue your journey, remember this gentle guidance: speak with kindness, listen with patience, and protect your inner world with mindfulness. When your actions are rooted in wisdom and compassion, your life itself becomes a quiet teaching. If this reflection brought you clarity or peace, consider supporting this channel so more seekers can discover these timeless teachings. Until we meet again, may your mind remain calm, your heart compassionate, and your path guided by wisdom.